Here we see a lot of claims for tinnitus. That's a ringing in your ears or ringing in the ears that someone may hear. There's not really an objective testing for that. So you go in and you tell your doctor or the examiner that you have this. And if you have some type of noise exposure or something in your service medical records, then it's pretty likely that it's going to be approved. That doesn't mean it's 100% of the time, because we see denials where there's clearly noise exposure and it is denied. But for the most part, the VA does grant that pretty easily. Think about that. That is a max 10% rating.
Exactly.
So, not saying that you shouldn't file for that if you have it, but just that it is a 10%.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing loss.
Yeah. Hearing loss is a huge one. Sometimes it does take appeals. Something that I've found can help to show noise exposure is any kind of firearm certification, which a lot of veterans have on their DD-214.
Right.
They're at the shooting range, not to mention any other types of noise exposure. A lot of Navy veterans have that. Ships are really loud.
Right.
Air Force veterans, of
Right.
course, as well.
Yeah.
I see that a lot. Another really common claims that we see involve knee conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Knees and ankles.
Yeah.
Specifically. Those seem to be something, they're pretty delicate joints,
Right.
all things considered. Think about all of the physical, even if you're just doing the physical training,
Right.
not doing anything else, you're just doing your normal PT. A lot of times that can, in the boots, I know,
I can't imagine running in the boots.
Yes, they cause a lot of foot problems.
Right.
So orthopedic problems like that we see a lot.
Right, I agree. And also other orthopedic conditions, we see a lot of back injuries, a lot of neck injuries. It's kind of the same thing, which could just be from PT. It could be from an injury that's sustained. Could be related to your MOS, infantry, what you're carrying. Just a progressive deterioration based on physical activity and overuse. Doesn't always necessarily have to be a single injury.
Another common side effect of that is radiculopathy.
Yeah.
So the shooting pains that you get down your legs, and with neck, sometimes you'll get those pains in your arms as well. So those are usually oftentimes associated. I would say just think about that. Like if you're going to claim a back condition, what other, like, do you have sciatic pain? Do you have like pain in your legs or tingling or anything like that? Kind of going off another secondary condition. It's not really like a condition per se, but scars. If your scar is painful, just like it sounds, or unstable, which means that the skin covering doesn't really stay on, that, it never really heals fully, you can get a compensable rating for that. You can go from a 0% rating for a scar to 60% ratings. It just really depends.
Yeah.
That's another thing to think about. Another big one that, I think we probably deal with every day are mental health conditions. For PTSD to depression to anxiety to even bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, if those developed during service or manifested during service, those are really, I don't want to say popular claims, but they're very common.
Right. This is a huge area for us, and definitely, I would say, possibly our most common type of claim that we assist with.
Absolutely. Kind of going along with that, I see sometimes that these will go hand in hand, sometimes not, but headaches, migraines. A lot of times we'll see that kind of in connection with mental health conditions that, they kind of like compound each other. If you're in pain, your mood's going to be pretty bad. And if,
Right.
Your mood's bad and you're stressed out and your blood pressure's high, you might get more headaches. We see those a lot. And same exact point. They don't have to have had manifested during service. They can. That always helps. But connecting that back is something that's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we talked about earlier, any of these conditions can be secondary. So you may be service connected for your back and be at a point where you're no longer to work gainfully, or at least not in the capacity that you're used to. That can lead to, in some situations, some depression, some anxiety, learning how to adjust your life given this service connected condition or the severity of it. All of those can be secondary conditions that we can file for, just like the migraines. Just always keep that in mind.